Hello and welcome. It's Jennifer McGuire, and this is my Favorite Crafty Things 2014, where I share my favorite products of the year. We're getting close to the end, only a couple more days after this. This is day 9, and I'm going to talk about finishing touches that you can do to your cards, and also some good ways to go about mailing them. Now, I just wanted to note again that there's links in the YouTube description below or over on my blog, where I also have big giveaways and some fun discount codes to my favorite stores. So let's go ahead and get started with pens and markers. So these aren't pens and markers for coloring per se, but just for those finishing touches on your cards. Now on almost every one of my cards I add the shimmer wink of Stella. Before I show you how it works, let's show you how to get it started. So when it comes in the package, you have to take the top off, take that black ring out, and then screw it back together. Now to get it started, you kind of got to pump it to get it started. So you squeeze the bottle or the pen itself until you see the liquid coming down and towards the tip. Now it'll kind of come flushing all out at once. That's okay. You'll see lots of shimmer there. You're going to go ahead and wipe the tip off just to get it kind of cleaned and back to normal, and now you're good to go. You shouldn't have to squeeze it ever again. It should just come out on its own nicely, and every once in a while you just want to shake it up. Now you'll see this doesn't put any color down, it just puts lots of fun shimmer. Now let me show you what it looks like on an inked background here. You can see the fun shimmer that you get there. It doesn't change the color of the background. It just adds that super fine shimmer that doesn't rub off. This isn't like glitter, it's super fine. It also looks really good on just solid cardstock. So I love coloring images and just adding this to the top just for that fun shine. Now there are lots of colors of the Wink of Stella brush marker. I really only use the clear. Now if you find that you've run out, you can hold up to the light to see if there's any juice left. If not, you can add more water in it, and it kind of reactivates all that shimmer that's kind of built up in the crevices inside the pen, and you can get more life out of it. It still has enough shimmer in there to get another life out of it, so that makes this last even longer. I love this pen. There's also Wink of Luna, which is more of a metallic paint pen kind of thing. There are, again, many colors, but I find myself only using the silver. I really like the silver. So it just depends on what your preference is. If you like all the colors, that's great, but I think the silver is definitely the best of the Wink of Luna. By the way, you want to store these with their cap facing up so you can see that label up on the top. It's definitely extends the life of these markers if you do so. My personal favorite metallic pens are the Pilot gold and silver markers. I've had these forever and I've just finally had to replace the gold one. So let me show you how to get it started. You can see you got to get the paint kind of going to the tip, so you shake it really good, press the tip down a few times onto the paper, and then the paint starts flowing. This really doesn't skip when you're writing. It gives really good solid metallic writing. You can write with this, you can add little accents, trace stamped images, put frames around cards. It's fantastic. And they come in a pack with the two together, which I think is great. These are also great for writing messages on the inside of your cards, especially if you have dark colored note cards. I just love these markers. Next up are the white pens. Now there is one I use more than the other. It's this one, the Uniball White Signo Broad Pen. It does a bright white. Now there's also this one. This is called the Jelly Roll. For some reason I spelled jelly with a J on there, but it's with a G. This doesn't go as bright white, but it is a finer tip. So if you want fine details, maybe to add little dots to your stamped image or doodles or whatever, it's good to have this one too. It's inexpensive, so I actually use both. But the Uniball pen is much brighter white. And by the way, these really work better if you write slowly with them. They don't skip as much. Now I like having a good black pen to trace over images if I don't stamp real solid, and this is the Copic 0.3 multiliner. They have them in many different widths, and I find that the 0.3 is just perfect for almost all of my needs, and it's great for writing messages on the inside of cards too. This is a good one for really kind of making your black stamping even darker by tracing over it with this. And on the same lines, I really like the Tombow black marker. Now, one of the tips I learned from my friend Kathy over at thedailymarker.com, I'll link to her here, is that it's best if you color an image and you cut it out, instead of leaving that white edge around the outside, it's good to trace that with your black pen to make it look really nice and defined. So this is my favorite pen for doing so. I find this broad tip is very firm and is really good quality, and it's perfect for just kind of running along the outside edges of anything that you cut out. It's a great black pen, the best black I found. Okay, now let's talk about finishing touches that add dimension to your cards. The first product I wanted to show you is actually new to me, and I think it's fantastic, and you'll see me using it in a lot of my videos in the future. This product from Tsukineko is a great way to add tiny little details of dimension to your cards. It comes in lots of colors. I'll show you a few here. You just take the white cap off and you'll see the super fine tip that you can apply this with. Now I'm showing you the clear here, and you can see that it is a little more liquidy, a little more runny than, say, glossy accents. But you can put super fine details down with it. Now it doesn't keep as much dimension as, say, the glossy accents because it is runnier, but it still gives dimension and a great way to add a glossy coating to anything that you want. And you can do super fine dots with it. So I really like having this in addition to the glossy accents. Now what makes this product really cool is that the cap actually has a needle that goes right into the tip, and it stores there so that this never gets clogged. So it's a great way to keep this nice fine tip clean. Now I also like the metallics. I have the copper here. Silver's my favorite. I actually spilled a different product all over all of my metallic, clear, and shimmer versions of this. So I don't have it to show you because I had to pitch them all. But I really like the silver, the clear, the black, the white, and the shimmer of these. So here is a black, and check out the fine details that you can get. So this would be perfect for little critters' eyes on any little stamped images to really make them pop. And you can go super fine details with this. Now this does take a little bit of time to dry, so you want to make sure you give it that, but it is very easy to apply thanks to that super fine tip. Let me show you what this looks like after it's dry. You can see you get some nice shine. It's nice, even kind of dome. You can get perfect little circles with it. It gives you great dimension. Now, I still like glossy accents, which we'll talk about in a little bit, because I think it's thicker, so you get bigger dimension, but sometimes you don't need that. And I love how super fine you can get, especially with the black. So this brings us to glossy accents, which I use an awful lot, and a lot of people use this as adhesive too. Now there is a big bottle and a little bottle, and I kind of go back and forth between them. They both are great, and they both last a very long time. What I like about this product is you can get really thick, clear dimension with it. It's great for covering die cuts to give them some dimension. It's a great, as I said, adhesive. The trick to this is to keep your nozzle from getting clogged. The way I do this is I squeeze anything that's in the nozzle out into like a baby wipe, and I clean off the nozzle, and I keep kind of squeezing it until you are sure only air is coming out. Then I tap it on my table and I put the lid on. So if you make sure there's nothing but air in the nozzle before you put on the cap, it'll never get clogged. Now this is still kind of wet here, and check out that dimension that you get with it though. It's just beautiful. So I really like having both of those products for dimension. Shimmer is another thing that I like to add to my cards. It's just something I think that's great for catching the eye. One of my favorites is the Shimmer Mist from Tsukineko. This is the sparkle. It comes in a pack with frost and sparkle, and you can buy refills of the sparkle, which I'll link to. Now this product I spray from super high, about 2 feet above, maybe 2.5 feet above my project, and I spray it down so it's a fine mist, so it doesn't alter or change my final card. It just puts a fine mist on it, kind of like Wink of Stella, but you barely see it here, but there is a nice sparkle to it. I sprayed it on a darker cardstock and you can see it here. I think it's gorgeous and just a great way to kind of catch the eye. You can put a heavier coating on if you want. I also put it on this inked card here you see in the background, and you can see how the shimmer just catches the light. Now if you want more shimmer than that, another option is the glitter dust spray. Now I take this outside and I spray it over a piece, and you can see here that it gets super fine glitter. I mean super fine glitter all over your card. Again, this is another thing that you can do a light spray over a finished card, or put a heavier spray on maybe little die cuts to put on your card. I don't find that it rubs off. It might rub off if you put a ton of it on, but I just do a light coating and I think it's great. If you've watched any of my videos, you know I love making my own pearlized water. I take a water bottle about this big filled with water, and I put about 1/2 teaspoon of that perfect pearl pigment powder in it. You just shake it up and you can store it this way. It doesn't get clogged, and check out that kind of pearly water you get. Now you could spray this on a card, but I never do. I use it as a mist. It's cool to react with a distress ink background like you see that I'm doing here. You can see it reacting there. It's also great to use with your watercolors instead of just plain water, because it's a great way to add a little bit of shimmer or pearly shine to your watercolor. So this is great. Anytime you want to use water, just use this instead and you get some pearly shine. Okay, now I'm not going to talk much about embellishments because I think that's a personal preference thing. There's lots of great embellishments out there, but there are a few that I did want to mention here. I think some good basics that I think work for a variety of styles of cards. The first is twine and string and such like that. This is a very inexpensive way to add some texture to your card without too much bulk. Now I am in love with these 3 colors of DMC thread. You can put these in your sewing machine. You can kind of make a little bundle of the thread and put it behind an accent. You can tie tiny little bows of it. It's super thin, so you can put it through your sewing machine. However, you can like put several pieces of it together and kind of bulk it up. I love this silver. I think it's beautiful. You can actually buy all 3 of them together if you want to. I've been using these a lot of my projects lately, and they're perfect for holiday cards. Very inexpensive. Now, American Crafts recently came out with some large packages of twine and baker's twine, and I think they're just great. Now, the baker's twine that they have is typical baker's twine. What's great is it's got a ton of colors in it, but this is what I like here. This solid twine that they have in their packs is like a jute without the hair on it. Does that make any sense? So it's nice and smooth, but it kind of forms into the shape. And look at the colors they come in. There are tons of colors in these packages. They're huge packages with amazing colors, and I'll link to them all so you can check them out. They are gorgeous, and I just got them. I'm going to be using them a lot. Okay, so now for my favorite little accent onto cards, these smooth gemstones from Hero Arts. They look like little mirror balls. I think they're beautiful. Then there's also the medium and small pearls. The nice thing about having these is you can color them any way you want with permanent pens, with either Sharpies or with Copic markers. So there's no need to have a ton of enamel accents or a ton of colored pearls and gems. So between this and the faux enamel accents that I can make with those glossy accents and stuff that I showed you earlier, I think I'm set. There's no need to buy all those expensive embellishments. I thought I'd also touch on sequins because a lot of people are dying over sequins right now. I am kind of picky about my sequins. I found that there are many great ones from Pretty Pink Posh. I really like their confetti. They also have hearts, which I've actually placed an order for. But I like these because they don't have the hole in the center. So they're great for shaker cards or flat accents on cards. They also have cute little stars that I think are great, and there's also bigger stars. Now this is my favorite pack ever of sequins. This is from Simon Says Stamp. It's called the Moonshine Mix Pack. There are large, medium, and tiny, kind of iridescently clear sequins that work with any card, and they're perfect for shaker cards. I love that mix pack. I also like the variety packs that are from Studio Calico in their Color Theory line. Now what's neat about this is in a pack you get stars and different sizes of circle sequins, and the stars are flat. I love this silver. I think this is beautiful. They have them in a bunch of different colors. I've already put mine in my little container here, which by the way I'll talk about in my next My Favorite Things series, so check that out. But I love all the different colors that they have to offer. Okay, so now that we've covered finishing touches, let's talk about mailing these cards. I know some people like to keep their cards after they've made them, but I think it's great to send them out to someone to make them smile. So the first thing I think anybody who makes handmade cards needs is a personalized stamp to put on the back bottom of their cards. For the longest time, I've been using personalized stamps from an Etsy shop called Twig and Linen. It's one that I found when I was searching, and I just like their simple, basic designs, and I found the Etsy seller is very reliable. I featured her many times on my blog, and I keep going back to her simple designs. She has a bunch of them, so you can check them all out, but these are my 2 favorites right now. I also recently found that my friend Josie has these great personalized stamps. She has address stamps and such like that. You saw me use her Bless Your Heart stamp in a previous video. She has lots of great designs for personalized stamps and return address stamps, so I'll link to her because I think she's got great products too. Now envelopes. After spending this much time creating a card, we want to have our cards in cute little envelopes. I'm going to talk about this briefly because I talked about it recently in my Favorite Things paper video. But I use the Hero Arts note cards for my 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch note cards. I like the decorative flap and the fact that they come in beautiful colors with the white inside. They also match the Hero Arts note cards. For smaller cards, 4-bar cards, which are 3 1/2 by 4 7/8, I like these white and craft envelopes from Lawn Fawn. Lawn Fawn also has some adorable print note cards to go with these, but these are the envelopes that I use exclusively. Now for decorating that envelope, this is my current favorite stamp set for decorating the outsides of my envelopes before I put them in the mail. This is from Little Inker, and I just think there's adorable little things on here, little bows that you can put on the flap of your cards, little snail mail for or better than email, just little things that are fun to stamp on the outside of your envelope, just to make it as special as what's on the inside of the envelope. Now, when you make these cards with lots of dimension, I think it's important to not just stick it into an envelope. So for an example, this card that I made with some embossing paste, to protect it through the mail, what I do is I cut a small piece of foam padding, which I'll link to what I use, and I put it in the envelope along with the card, and it gives a little bit of padding as this goes through the mail, and I found that this really helps to protect my card. So this is one thing I do quite often. I just pre-cut a bunch of little squares for my cards. Another thing I like to use is the Hero Arts acetate tags. You can buy a pack of these tags. I just cut the tag portion at the top so it's a nice rounded corner rectangle of acetate, and I put that over my card. And that kind of smooths it out so any bumps on your card won't kind of won't tear through the envelope or whatever. This is a great way to protect your cards. You can also use scraps of clear plastic for that. But I use both of these, probably use that foam padding a little bit more than anything else. Now, if I have a card that is super dimensional or just needs a little bit of extra care, I buy bulk of padded envelopes. I found this white kind I like the best, and I buy a ton of these. And this is what I put a lot of my cards in. It only costs a couple of bucks to mail one of these in the US. I'm not sure about overseas, but I found that this will protect anything that you put in there. And I will link to the ones that I use below. Now, one last thing that I wanted to cover is if you like to make sets of note cards, I really like these clear card boxes for holding note cards to give as gift sets. I give gift sets of note cards all the time, especially to teachers, and this is just a great way to kind of pull it all together. You can put a bunch of cards and envelopes in here. You can even put a pen in there and some stamps, and you're good to go. Just a nice packaging. You could also send extra special cards in that if you wanted to. So there you have it, mailing and finishing touches. If you have any interest in these products, there's links below my YouTube description, or you can go to my blog where I have the links. I also have shopping discounts and some great giveaways. I hope you found this helpful, and I will be back very soon with another day of my favorite crafty things 2014.